process should be scrapped. During COVID also and later, we have the eco warriors, we have the dancers, we have the artists, we have the digital whiz, we have the quizzers, we have the sports. Can we divide children according to such norms instead of a head girl and a head boy and a house cat at the foundational stage where we have the HPC? We incorporate all these qualities definitely because the schools desperately want their children to be perfect and teach them all the good in the world. Right? We try definitely. We don't give up so easily as mentors, as educators. The moment you build confidence in a child, you sow the seeds of good leadership. When we say leadership qualities in students, this is partly a general perspective of what we all already know. There is nothing which is very teachable here to all you mentors who are logged in. But I will also put in a little bit of my perspective as to what I feel at the end of the session after discussing the general traits and qualities of what we should look for in a student leader. Uh, when a child comes to school, uh, they come with a little bit of learning themselves. So just to set the context, when a child comes to school, the child already comes with a certain amount of teaching and a certain amount of perspective when they join the school. Believe me, even as a 6-year-old, as a 3-year-old, as a 4-year-old. Very basic qualities sometimes the children come with. A simple quality like sharing, for example. It's a very, very important trait. And today, with parents having single children, this quality is a little rare to find. Obviously, there is one child in the family and all the parents are doing his or her bidding, is the apple of their eye, and why not so? Right? So everything exclusively belongs to that particular child. Just imagine this child coming to school and suddenly having to share everything. That's a challenge. It comes slowly, thanks to the beautiful hand holding of the teacher, the peers. These traits are built. Or waiting your turn, a simple thing like waiting your turn in line, waiting to be asked or waiting to be given something, a toy maybe, or waiting their turn to say a swing. That is a basic trait also, which sometimes comes with a little difficulty. Children are a little impatient. Nobody likes to wait these days. Adults don't like to wait. Let's not talk about children. So I always feel that when the children come to school, there are a few skills that are already there thanks to the kind of upbringing that the parents have come in. And of course, then the teacher steps in, the school atmosphere steps in, and then there is a lot of unlearning and relearning that happens in a child's life. And this is as young as 3-year-olds, as young as 4-year-olds. That is when they step into Balvatika 1, pre-primary or nursery. By the time a child is moving out of school at the age of 16 or 17, the child's habits and their thinking are set in so many ways. And I must also share that the way they look at the world is shaped again a lot by the school and their home. Of course, they pick up courses along the way, they educate themselves, then they see college life. But their stepping stone to the outside world is, of course, the school. Here, we all as teachers come across, investiture ceremonies. We all choose house captains and prefects, and we have, head boy, head girl, student captains. We have cultural captains. I'm sure all of you agree with it and there is a rigorous process, by the way, to choose these leaders. But just think about it. The layers and layers and layers of competition that they go through, and then one child emerges the leader because the system is in that manner. Does that mean that the silent bystanders who could say get eliminated in say round 1 or round 2. They're not leaders. Here I'll put in my perspective. They are also leaders. It's just that the system that we design in our schools to choose and nurture leadership is very difficult and not always fair to everybody. Again, think about that quote. Leaders are not born, leaders are made, or leaders are born, are they made? Now, when we look at what is leadership, we always say that it is the ability to influence others. But is it only the smooth talkers or the loud voices that will determine leadership? No, it is the ability to get people together to think a certain way. And that is not by force, that could be even by dialogue. And not every child has that ability. When we say influence, we also mean influence, whether it is juniors, whether it is their own peers, their own age groups. And we have also seen sometimes the seniors. Sometimes actions by the primary school are so beautifully done and enacted that the senior school has to stop and take notice that, okay, the primary is doing something like this, why can't we? So we always say whether it is influencing the juniors, whether it is influencing the seniors or their peers, and to an extent, teachers also. As a principal today, when I interact with some of my students, I am in awe that this is something that is coming from a child. Just imagine there's so much out there to learn from. So always remember that leadership, when we say it is not only by giving long speeches or just being a good student academically, is a leader. The leadership qualities can be evident through any manner, even a small change maker, I would say, is a leader. And here I will just add, this is a very, very personal perspective. It can, you all can have a different perspective. I personally feel all the investiture ceremonies that we have all over the schools should be scrapped. They should be scrapped. They should have work-centric or task-centric leadership, because talent is unique. And there are leaders in their own right. But yes, whenever you bring about a change, whenever you influence change, whenever you change the mindset of another person towards the do good of a particular system, I would call them a leader. And yes, these qualities are to be nurtured. And what better place to nurture them is to be in school. Dear listeners and participants, you can be free with your emojis. You can send them all over the screen, whatever comes to your mind. Good, bad, thumbs up, thumbs down, anything at all will work. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. By the way, all the pictures that you see in the presentation belong to our school, Navy Children's School, Goa, right? Now, there are many activities that we hold in school. Of course, there are a whole lot of curricular activities. Please understand, the extracurricular activities or the co-curricular activities, I will call them all curricular. Everything that we do today in school is with a purpose, with a specific learning outcome, with an objective. So I will call all of them curricular. And we have so many activities in school. Whether it is field trips, whether there are competitions, whether there are debates, whether it's on the sports field, the school is such a dynamic ecosystem, and it's such an evolving ecosystem, and there is so much happening that there are ways and means to discover leadership in all ways. I'll tell you of a very small incident. There was a stay back in school for the sports team, right? The sports team was playing football and they had extra practice. Suddenly, I see this boy running and coming. Oh, and there was an afternoon bus that was supposed to drop the children who were participating. Suddenly, I saw this boy running to me. So one ninth standard child came, ma'am, I am so sorry. Because of me, 5 children missed their bus. I'm really sorry. It was my fault. I said, child, what happened? No, ma'am, I communicated the wrong bus timing to them. They asked me, and I need to apologize, ma'am. These children will come to you and they will request for a drop. But then, ma'am, please don't scold them, ma'am. It's my fault. I just looked at that child. I said, here's a leader. Here's a leader who is ready to take responsibility. They could have just gone it amiss. The sports teacher had shouted at them and told them, now, why did you miss the bus and everything? No, sir, so-and-so child told me it is like that. And he made those children sit in the reception because I peeped out of my office and I said, okay, these are the children. Yes, ma'am, I am so sorry. They asked me the time, but ma'am, it's my fault. I made it a point that I dropped those 5 children and that boy. And this is a potential leader who can take onus for his actions, come up front and be honest. It's a rare quality. Adults don't have it. Forget the children. So here is one aspect of leadership, or even a small thing that there is a stay back. 5 children have forgotten their tiffin. One child says, come, I'll share with you. We'll all share together. That's a little leader here who shows empathy, right? My team is playing out there. I'm going to stand there, even if I'm missing my studies, I'll cover up later, but I'm here for morale boosting. I may not be playing in the team, but I'm here. That's a leader, right? Not providing for everybody. If there are resources missing, that's a leader. If there's an eco club, may not be the eco club captain or the cultural captain, but here is one child who's making sure everybody is safe and contributing. That's a leader. So while we are looking for specific leadership traits, it's not necessarily a badge holder who has to be a leader. And how do you identify such leadership? It is through everyday observation in the most littlest of actions that the children do. And like I said, there are so many ways to discover leadership in every aspect of the school. Like I said, the school is such a beautiful, dynamic system that there are many opportunities that we get, whether it's in the classroom, whether it is in the sports field, it is through curricular activities, which are a plethora that we follow in the school, which gives rise to sharing, collaborating, working together, helping each other, taking classes for each other, hand-holding their peers, speaking to teachers. Not every child can gather the courage to go walk up to a teacher and say, I want to say something. Some child will say, come, I'll come with you and let's talk to ma'am together. That's hand-holding also. These are all abilities to future leaders. And some children are scared, but they handheld by the other children and the conversation is taken forward. So please understand, when cultivation comes later, discovering these character traits, as I say, and then honing them and then nurturing them, that's where the seeds of leadership are sown. And then giving badges or recognizing them on the platform as leaders comes much later. It's the little behavioral actions that make a difference, right? And it starts very young. Small children have different kinds of problems that you'll find. You'll find bullies. You'll find children hitting each other. You'll find children, stealing each other's things. But there will be a child who will probably be asking that child not to do such a thing, or hiding something, or standing united. All these things are seen in a classroom as young as class 2, class 1. And that's again where you will find your future leaders. So that's your platform on which you are going to find leadership. And for that, dear teachers, dear mentors, we have to keep our eyes and ears open at all times. Observation of children in everyday classroom scenario, in everyday classroom activities. First of all, discover the potential of a child, and then segregate those children. Just like we do talent management in school, that, teacher so-and-so is very good at speaking. Let me put her in charge of this. This particular teacher is excellent with computers. Maybe she can get a great presentation done. This teacher is very good at, we leaders do that. When we are allocating duties, we do that. This child or this teacher is very good at making animation and reels. Let me give her the task for some website upload. Or this teacher is very good in singing. Let her be in charge along with the music teacher with the choir. That's exactly, my dear mentors. This is exactly what you should do in your classroom. In a classroom of 35 to 40, divide the children according to the talent. And you'll be surprised to see, instead of those 4-5 people who are your line monitors, your classroom monitors, your board monitors, you will be able to step away and see beyond these 4-5 children that this child has the potential of doing this. May not be very vocal, but the moment you as a teacher push them, you will see them blossoming. So every part of your classroom, every activity of your classroom that is conducted, that's where you can spot leaders. But again, please wash away the lines of a monitor and a possibility or a child good in studies or not good in studies. that is not the way to be able to discover leadership, right? But yes, observation really matters. Next slide, please. Now, when observation techniques, like I said, you have to keep a watch. Now, this was a sticking activity. Why was this group's photograph here? This group's photograph is here because there were two children out of these, the boys in the center, who made sure that the entire class finished as fast as possible. They finished theirs and they assisted the others to finish there. Can I help you? Can I help you? Let's get this together. And everybody was holding up the sticking activity together. So it's not just about one child or I finished first. It's a rare quality. I finished first, raced to the finish line, forgetting about the others. I'm first, teacher, I'm first. No, I'm not first. I'm putting mine. I'm done. I'm done. But hi, ever are you need any help? Can I do this? Can I tear this with you? Can we do it together? Can I put the gum with you? So this child was given a Mr. Helpful badge by the teacher. I quickly made one and they said, hey, child X, I'm not taking names, child X finished his also and helped the others finish as well, who were faster. Not every child has fine motor skills and are very, very quickly, can finish an activity. So here again, helpful nature and making sure that the entire classes finish together. And that is where collaboration comes, when you all are able to stick it out together. There is a problem with today's generation. They are loners. They like to work alone. Very rarely will you find children be able to successfully work in a team. And often, dear mentors, you will see this whenever you give a group project, there will be one or two children who will be working and the rest will not work. I'm sure you will all agree with that. Or one of them have to keep racing behind the others that this was your responsibility. Why didn't you get this done? Right? So there is one child who will sort of take charge, take a bashing from the teacher also, take a bashing from their peers also, saying what? You are very bossy. But what is that child ending up doing? That child is continuously trying to make sure that the group project is finished fast. Or you as a mentor take this pain of selecting candidates and putting them together. It's a painstaking exercise because again, you need to know who will work with who. That the world doesn't come like that. In the school, you can control the environment, but at least they'll be able to learn how to collaborate. So there are children who can collaborate and you should have one collaborator per group. There would be children who are good at this, and there are children who are loners, who are not okay with it. Assistance, collaboration, that is a very big leadership potential. Look out for such children, and they may not be vocal. Again, there are children who may not be loud voices, they may not be vocal, but they are the action takers, they are the doers, they get things done in their own quiet manner. Look out for these traits and encourage them. Communication will also happen, but at least find the people who get the job done. There is a very famous, reel by Barack Obama. Test it, go look it up in the YouTube and look it out. He as a leader says, I look out for people in my workplace or in my life as to who, instead of whining continuously in the ways that this cannot be done, he looks out for people who can get things done. So this is again a trait which you should look out for in your classroom. Collaboration. Then there are some people who take initiative. Ma'am, I'll do it. Again, may not be perfect, but ma'am, can I do this? Can I have a go at it? And children are very eager to please their teacher. They love it. They want to go ahead. They want to people please, especially their teachers, their class teachers, their favorite subject teachers. They are their gods. They worship us like gods, especially the primary children. So look out for initiative takers. They may not know what the task is, or simple thing like asking for help or wanting to help. So initiative takers, the collaborators, the people who like to take others along with them, who are friendly, are not gruff and sitting that I'm not going to participate. No. So look out for such people, people who got pleasing personalities. Not all children are like that. Again, here, my earnest request is do not ignore the quiet ones. Find out what the quiet ones are good at and include them. You never know, there is a potential leader out there. Even in group discussions in college, there are a few people who immediately jump into the discussion. And there are these one or two who will listen to everybody and in the end just give such a final monologue that everybody is quiet. So those are the silent observers. And never ever mistake the introverts, the people who are quiet. I, of course, don't like to use the word, but I just say that the people are quiet, They are shy. They take time to open up. Be inclusive and take everybody along so that, and you nurture. You never know, you may be able to kindle a spark. But yes, these are very, very, very strong leadership qualities, like which are flashed on the screen also. Initiative, collaborate, people who assist their peers. They also, they are the ones who actually can be potential leaders. Next slide, please. All right. Why is it important to spot leaders? I also say, why is it important to spot leaders earlier? Because it is important to be able to nurture them into voices that can really mean something when they go up. It is a part of their academic journey. It is a part of their personality. It's extremely important that this be nurtured and this be taken forward because it hones their personality. And when they go up for future jobs in colleges, these kind of traits, when you are going to hone them, it really matters. Until unless they learn, even like I said, even before, communication is secondary, right? Second, it is a very important skill. But at the same time, even before that is teamwork. And teamwork towards a proper objective instead of being fragmented. It's very easy for children not to see eye to eye. And the moment somebody has a different opinion, that child gets sidelined, that the child is not being a yes man. It happens to many children. Ma'am, because I think differently and I don't believe in that idea, I'm not included in the group. Why? Why don't we hear a different opinion? Can we listen? Can we listen and try and understand from what perspective is that child coming from? Sorry to say, adults don't have it today. It's too much to expect from a child. But then this is where the teacher comes in. The teacher comes in and has to sort of slowly shift the focus and make sure that everybody is heard in a group and then silently back out. So that when children grow up, they understand that along with collaboration, along with peer influencing, along with these traits, active listening is also a part of it. So that when we grow up and we want to become future managers, if we do not listen to a team, that is the first step of downfall. As principals, also as coordinators and headmistresses and as team leaders, you all know, if you are on your own trip, on your own path, there is bound to be downfall. It is very important to take everybody together. And that is what has to be nurtured in our children. Take everybody along as you go, even if it is with academics. It is very important to take everybody along so that these skills, and we talk about 21st century skills, where do we develop them? It is happening with parenting, where every toy, every program, every book is being fed to the child instead of choices. How does a child make a choice when the child grows up? Because we're not giving any opportunity for the child to make these choices, right? So it is very important that these traits be developed now so that as they go along, and we bubble wrapped our children so much that the moment they take a small hit also, we quickly run to, what happened? What happened? Are you okay? Are you okay? Let them fall. Let them fall, let them get up, let them brush themselves and then stand up again. Resilience. All these are built through school years only. And along with academics is definitely important. I am not negating them, but at the same time, as a person, as a life skill, they all need to grow up learning these traits. And again, it is not for student leaders only. It is for every child. When we say you can hone leadership skills, it's important. Anybody who's able to grasp these and sort of by the time they pass out of school and they are able to develop these qualities, they are all having the potential to become leaders. Now comes the clincher. When you are developing these qualities and then you top it up with communication skills, now that not everybody has, then you have a true leader. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes. Then when you join it up, as I'll go over these traits in a couple of later slides also, when you have communication with along with the other traits, being able to put forth your ideas with clarity and fluency. Some children are able to do it. Forget the language. whether it's your own mother tongue, whether it is English, whether it is Hindi, whatever you are comfortable in, depending on the state you come from, the state school, when you are able to put across your thoughts with crystal clear clarity and language, then you have a true leader, a true influencer. They become like coaches, these children. And where does it come from? It comes from voracious reading, a deep understanding of the language, starting early when you actually are able to hone skills. There are children who study very well, who get very high marks, but they are unable to communicate well. And communicate doesn't mean you have to be fluent in English. No, our greatest of leaders are not fluent in English, and that's absolutely fine. They speak their own mother tongues very well. They speak Hindi very well, whether it is English or any leader for that matter. The communication matters. Here again, when you nurture these qualities in class, how do you nurture them? Before going into these steps, I must again narrate a very small incident. I had 5 children, again a student council. They were student council members from our own school. I have undergone this exercise just 6 days. They came, they wear stripes. They took out those stripes and their badge and they put it on the table. They are student leaders, chosen through the investiture ceremony. Responsible leaders who have excelled in academics and in the sports and have been chosen to represent the school. When we called them, these 6 leaders, they came and sat in my office. Everybody just sits in my office. My door is always open, whether it's a student, whether it's a teacher, most welcome. They sat and said, ma'am, we are tired of being student leaders. And they speak very well, all of them. I said, what happened suddenly? Ma'am, we have become sandwiched between responsibilities and our academics. Our teachers don't understand us. Our parents don't understand us. And now we felt you have to interfere. You have to butt in. I said, what happened? Ma'am, when we do work for the school as leaders, our parents get angry that all the time you are working for the school. Then when we are concentrating on academics, our teachers get angry. We had given you this work. Why is it not done? Why is the team names not come to me? Where is this list? You were supposed to organize this for the student farewell for class 12. You were supposed to help us put this presentation. Ma'am, we are running from pillar to post, trying to become 100% in everything, but we are failing. So beautifully, they put across their points. They said, ma'am, whom do we listen to? Our parents, our teachers, our academics is suffering. We are leaders. We very voluntarily wanted this post. Yes, we are happy. But ma'am, nobody is ready to understand. Hence, ma'am, we are giving our badges. We are giving our stripes to you. Ma'am, we cannot do this. I, as a principal, had to think that this is my children who have cracked under pressure, but have voiced out what they are facing. We as a school need a solution. Why is all the cultural responsibility given to one person? Why haven't we given arms to this child? Why haven't we given 6 more people and said, share the responsibility? Why aren't the teachers ready to understand that they are children? And this is what they can take. Don't we sometimes in school feel overwhelmed saying, my God, there is so much work. I wish I could just sleep and not go to school tomorrow. It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. And it's okay. And I hope you're blessed with understanding leaders where they say, okay, go on a short break. Go take 2 days off. Forget the school. This is exactly what I said. I said, just give it a break. Just give it a break. Let me speak to your teachers and let us have a middle path. These are also leaders. What impressed me was how they sat very maturely and had a dialogue with me as a principal and said, ma'am, we can't do this anymore. Here is feedback from a 15, 16 and 17-year-old coming to me, which says, ma'am, we are cracking under pressure. So they are children after all. We adults also go through that. So did we make room for mistakes? Yes, we did. It's okay to make a mistake and say, it's fine, we've got you. We are going to handhold you. So when you are doing this, you cannot have perfection. Sometimes the best child in studies does not form a good leader. They are so busy only concentrating on marks that they forget the others, that the other things that make up a leader. Just like in our fraternity, we say good teachers are not often good administrators. For administration, you need a different mindset altogether. In the same way, these are these little mini managers and hands of the teachers who are helping us run the school. They are your student leaders. But what caught my attention was the crystal clarity with which they explained every situation with an example. They said, ma'am, there are so many things planned in the school. We are running, trying to balance it all. That's a thought to ponder. So there were room for mistakes, and it's okay for you as observers also. It's okay for a leader to make a mistake and to be vulnerable, say, I messed up, I am sorry. Are we ready to forgive it? No, you are the head girl of the school. How can you do this? That means the child will grow up to say, I have to be Mr. Perfect. I have to be Miss Perfect. That is not sign of grooming a leader. You are going to then be a robot. And robots don't have empathy. Another thing that you have to look for in a child, right? Give them opportunities, lots of opportunities, and see what excel. And that's when I say distribute the work and do not rely on one person. Give them time, give them your time to listen to them, to help them, to genuinely help them. And only then will you be able to empower them as a leader. Now, for example, if a child is practicing in the morning for some debate competition and is being helped by a student leader, suddenly the child goes back and says that, ma'am, sorry, ma'am, I'm late for the class just because I was preparing my team. I was helping my teacher prepare a chart and a team. And when they come back to the class and we say, why are you late for the class? Now you have missed so much portion. Now forget it. Now you please cover up on your own. Imagine the plight of a child. So can you, a small word of encouragement? What will it say? Okay, child. All right. Give me 15 minutes at the end of the class. I will quickly run you through what is there. Nobody will otherwise have a problem there. Yes, ma'am, I'll join you so that you can just quickly help me go through this. So the child will be happier. They'll communicate, they will share. Again, to build trust. They will learn trust from you. If you keep, and for leaders, it is very important to trust their teams. Otherwise, they grow up not wanting to trust, not wanting to share. Right. So that also you need to take care as leaders. Right. So when you as a person, when you as a mentor, you have to empower leaders. When you empower them, even the shyest person, even the quietest person can sometimes want to be a leader of a different kind. Of a different kind. Why I'm saying a different kind? Not necessarily reading the march past, holding the school flag, but maybe helping the teacher mix music for the sports day. That's also a leader because that's what that person is talented. So there are different kinds of leaders. And now when I revisit my statement saying investiture ceremonies, that's a personal opinion, investiture ceremonies should be abolished. In a class of 40, you make these small leadership groups who are good at something according to their strengths, and you will develop leaders. You will give them opportunities. They will be able to thrive. Next slide, please. This, of course, I have touched upon. I'm touching upon again. People who are able to work together as a team, people who are able to collaborate with each other, people who are good listeners, people who can decide and problem solve. Children's problem solving is very different from adult problem solving, right? It is what they encounter in school is very different from how for them, decision on a class picnic is much more important. We adults don't face all this, but for children it matters. Or if for Christmas you are allowing them to wear the colored dress, that is problem solving and decision making for them. When they are deciding a Teachers' Day program amongst themselves, that is problem solving and decision making for them. What kind of quiz program are they going to help their sports teacher with? That is important for them. Who will play for their inter-house team depending on their excellence in sports? That is problem solving and decision making for them with the help of the teacher. What kind of music will play? Who is going to represent who amongst them? They will decide. That is problem solving for them. Should they go for this practice in the afternoon, or should they go for tuition, or should they listen to their parent? That is problem solving for them. And believe me, it is a matter of life and death. Imagine telling their parent, no, I want to go for dance practice for Teachers' Day. I cannot go for tuition today. Imagine a child. We have faced this. These are very practical things that we face. For them, this is all decision making. No, Amma, I have to do this because I am the house captain. I have to take this decision. If I only will not go, how my house will do or how my class will do. So all these things, when the children are navigating, for them, it is a very big thing. For us, it is very easy to say, we will not let you perform on the teacher's day if you don't get your dance right. Oh, this choice of songs is not nice. Your teachers will not appreciate. Guide them instead of just cutting them to size. And then you will see leadership with trust. Then you will see them wanting to do much more. But yes, these are children who will come out with solutions. Okay, ma'am, we'll stay back after school for 1 hour. Can you give us transport? Can some teacher, can a pick up and a drop be arranged? Or ma'am, can I call a simple thing like how many of us allow a phone call from the admin office? Many children come, ma'am, I want to speak to my parents. I need a t-shirt for afternoon. I forgot. Small things. Children shouldn't grow up in fear. And when they grow up in fear, you just sometimes kill leadership qualities. But again, there are very few who are able to rise. And I feel to develop the confidence in a child, it is to be done in school. And sometimes we as teachers don't do that. We kill it in the initial stage. And very few are able to, display these qualities. So develop these qualities. Some children will have them. Some children you must develop for potential leadership roles in the future, because today there is something called as HR skills and there is something called as technical skills. Technical skills we have, but communication and HR skills our children are lacking. And we must build these 21st century skills in our children. And what is on the screen just now is a part of those 21st century skills. Children should not grow up feeling that these skills cannot be nurtured. They can be nurtured. And school is the right place. And aren't we looking for these traits in a leader? Yes, we are. Those people who have not had the opportunity in school later end up doing leadership courses in college level, in job level. HR will make them do all these things. Why? Because we only have the technical skills, but we don't have these skills. Then we start doing training in soft skills. The best platform to learn soft skills is school. And who is there? It's our responsibility as mentors to nurture. And you can nurture. Some children have it, but you can also nurture. So please understand what I'm trying to say here is there are leaders. You look for potential leaders, the loud noise makers, the one who says yes, the one who is extrovert. It's very easy to give all the responsibility to that child. That child तो वो नेता वाला मटेरियल तो है ही. चलिए उसको आपने लीडर बना दिया. पर वो छोटे वाले बच्चे भी हैं और दूसरे बच्चे भी हैं who can be cultivated into future leaders. Next slide, please. All right. So again, coming to the leaderships, that qualities that you must explore. Very, very important. Responsibility. There are children who are ready to take responsibility. Hone that skill. You'll find a small spark, a small thing like, ma'am, can I carry your notebooks with you? Yes, please, come. You must carry the notebooks. Can you count and keep them also? Yes, my dear. Can you arrange them roll number wise? That's wonderful. Thank you. Right? So that's responsibility. Build it, develop it. And there are some children who will anyway take all the responsibility. Right? Initiative. The people who always say that, okay, they volunteer. Ma'am, I want to take part. Ma'am, I want to take part. Ma'am, can I do this? All right. They show these skills very early. Right? That's initiative. And communication. For me, communication as a principle, it's very, very important that you should be able to communicate. And for communication, build their language. It can be built. Some children who are naturally communicators, it's a skill. It's one of the MI skills also, as Howard Gardner puts it. They're one of the MI skills also. And it's very, very important that some children have it, as we say in English, the gift of the gab. Some children already have it because the language is very strong. And please understand, it is nothing to do with what kind of language you're speaking. I will reiterate, it could be any language that you're comfortable in, which is prevalent in your school. Some of them are state schools, and that's perfectly all right. A child who's able to speak their mind and is able to speak what they feel or the others feel. There are some children who are the spokesmen of the class. They become like these little mini leaders. Ma'am, I'm representing my whole class, and I would like to put up this point. Respect that. That is, of course, a potential leader, but also at the same time, develop these qualities in your children. Next slide, please. Again, empathy. Instead of hogging everything to themselves, one should have consideration for the others. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, empathy comes from home. We really try as children observe how their parents treat strangers, how they treat animals, how they treat fellow human beings, how they treat neighbors, how they treat restaurant staffers, how they treat peons. Children are watching you and they are learning that it's okay to speak to the Didi of my house like this. It is okay to yell at the lineman like this. It's okay to yell at somebody at the airport. It is okay to kick an animal. Children are watching you and they are learning subconsciously and unconsciously. So make sure that you emulate what you feel because your children watch you. If you are scrolling the mobile on the whole day, the children will feel it's okay to do that. I took a workshop for CBSE very recently on gender sensitivity. It was very, very beautifully brought out that by some of our children also. I see my mother doing all the dishes. My bhaiya is sitting and my father is sitting and there is a tray placed in front of them. And I'll tell you another story. Swachhata Abhiyan was going out along in our school. Everybody was with a broom. Everybody was with a broom. There were 3 boys who threw the broom at one girl that this is your job. We took up, there was counseling for that child. You cannot be like that. No, the girls are supposed to do that. No, who said? Who said the girl is supposed to be doing the brooming only? Is that the way we will speak to our mother? Why is it okay to speak to our fellow classmate like that? No, not done. Empathy and consideration. And believe me, if it could have easily been passed by, it's some children laughed at it and no, but this is serious. The child will grow up like that unless not checked. Whether it is empathy for gender, whether it is empathy for elders, whether it is empathy for younger, whether it is empathy for the weak, whether it is empathy for the animals. It's a very rare trait today. At the drop of the hat, we lose our temper. At the drop of a hat, we yell at people. At the drop of the hat, we are impatient. What are we teaching our future leaders? And this is a trait not only for leaders, it is for everybody. It's a part of 21st century skills and it is a part of leadership also. There are some people who are far more empathetic than their peers. It matters. Adaptability, again, adults also don't have this skill, but we must teach children. Again, one instance I'll tell you. This was in my previous school. It was a 7-star school, centrally air conditioned. We provided very beautiful desks and benches for our children. The children went for board examination to another school. The desks and benches were a little different. They were not so upmarket or jazz like we provided. The conversation that some of the children said, did you see that school? It was so downmarket. Look at their desks and benches. Look at their walls. This is not the way to talk. We spoke to the children. He said, you have gone there for a purpose. There are children who study there. This is not the way to speak. Did you see their water point? Their classes are also not air conditioned. You'd be surprised. Children speak like that. This is not the sign of good education. Aren't we preparing our children? We are there to give our board exam. We will give our board exam and exit graciously instead of making a fuss about look at the way the school is. It is a temple of education, whether it is 4-walled or whether it is 7-walled. How does it matter? We do not disrespect, and some children are openly. That is such a put down when we see such traits in our young teenagers. So we look for adaptability, we look for adjustments. This constant cribbing and whining, there are children who do it. Nip it. These are not your future leaders. Definitely not. When we start thinking ourselves to be privileged, that is not future leaders. Look for these small traits in children. And it's difficult. When we are talking about these things, we are making future leaders as superhuman. We cannot have superhumans. And that is why my belief is that develop these qualities. एक बच्चे में इतनी सारी qualities उसके formative years में कैसे आएंगी? You have to develop them. And every child has the potential to be developing these qualities. So adaptability to an extent is a leadership quality. Integrity, honesty, rare trait today. At the drop of the hat, children lie to save themselves. Are you standing by your peers? Are you standing by your class? They will just take a small white lie immediately. Very difficult. Like that child whom I narrated, ma'am, it's my fault. I am so sorry. For me, that child just went up. The child is passing out. We had our farewell on the 22nd, and I told that child, I admire this in you, beta, do not change. I will never forget the day you came to me and you told me this. The child said, ma'am, you remember? I said, I do. This happened 2 years back, but I remember. So integrity again, commitment and honesty to yourself, to your peers, to your teachers. That's very, very important. Integrity. Integrity may not get you places, and you have to prepare the children also. Sometimes you climb up the success ladder uh, by lying. It's not okay to do that. It's not okay to do that. How far will you get? How far will you get? Children ask that, ma'am, the most dishonest people go places. As a teacher, it is very difficult to explain to the child. Very, very difficult. We had a case study discussion about the Unnao case today. Now look at this, ma'am. This was a political science class today and a legal studies class the teacher was taking. The books were kept aside, and this was what the discussion turned out to be. And the teacher had tears in her eyes and she says, how, ma'am, how do I explain to my children to be honest in today's world? It's a challenge, dear mentors. It is a challenge. Children question this. But what we tell them is start small, my dears. Stand by the right. Stand by the right in whatever way you can express yourself. But don't be dishonest. Don't be. It will, when children cheat, no, when children cheat, we catch them cheating, we tell them. And we don't shout, we don't yell. They come to my office or the counselor's office, and very politely we tell them, emotionally we tell them, Beta, today you will do this. After 3 years, where will you be? And we've had student leaders who also got into dishonesty or unfair means at times just to stay one on top. We said, you tell us the root cause. So help them, give them that atmosphere in school so that they are forced to be honest. Because if they feel threatened, you'll not be able to develop this quality. Some children have this quality already that, no, we will not tell lies. This is the truth. Watch out for such behavior. But at the same time, I will continuously say, develop these qualities in the others as well. Next point. Next slide, please. Reflective questions and feedback. This is for the children. This is not for us. How many children actually sit down together and talk about so many things that happen in their class? I remember there was an instance where we sent a 16-member team to an inter-school fest. And I always encourage my children and, say, no, we must participate to win. Come on, let us, encouraging them. No, we must win every competition. We must come back and, I want the trophy and everything. Like any principal, I would boost their morale before they went out. Out of the 8 categories that we participated in, they won 4 only, right? 50%. They came all throughout the bus. The teacher told me, now how will we face principal ma'am? Principal ma'am told us, that we must get the trophy and must win and everything. And when they came back, I will never reprimand. What's done is done, right? So I said, that's fine. It's okay. It's all right. Your 4 categories we won. So what? We didn't get the rolling trophy next time. But next time I will be behind your back. Can you believe it? There are some of those children out of those 4 competitions that they did. 4 of them went back and the teams went back and said, what did we not do correct? One person said, no, ma'am, the whole school was partial. I said, no, not necessary. The whole school, why should it be partial? There were judges also. No, ma'am, they were partial. While the other said, you know what? The speaker from the other school was far better. Their idea was much more creative than ours. Don't you think so? That jingle that they made in that jam was much better. Okay, yes, maybe. So what did they do? They did something very beautiful. They came back and they introspected. Again, that was a good sign. This was all told to me by the teacher later that, ma'am, they actually sat in the recess outside on the steps and they were discussing this. There was time for questions, and good leaders do that. Feedback. Even adults are told that seek feedback, seek introspection, nurture these qualities in the children also. Look out for these qualities. Some people will again have them. Let's talk about it, and they're not shy to do it. But don't, just because they are bold enough to do it, don't sideline them out. Again, develop these qualities by your own actions in the other children as well. Next slide, please. Right. Sports field. It's an arena where lots happens. It is one of the best ways to spot leadership. Again, an example. There were two teams fighting, volleyball match. One house was winning, and there was a foul by the other team. The other team refused to accept the foul. What happened? One child went and pushed the other one of the other team members. The other team member, what did they do? They slapped. Immediately, coach came and separated the two. This is not good sportsmanship. If you are losing, no, sir, they are cheating. Let us decide that. Let us see the camera footage. Let us decide. Please, there are coaches and referees. We don't get into a boxing match here. We don't start shouting and pushing and hitting each other. No, that's not the way to behave on a sports field. So in the sports field also, you will find your leaders encouraging their teams, shouting for them, rooting for them, being there for them, being there a part of the selections. And sometimes my best footballers are average in studies. They love football. They will averagely pass. So what do? We let them play because that gives them a lot of joy. They represent us in clusters and they represent at the state and the district level. But at the same time, we are okay with it. But we make sure that the last 2 hours of the day, the teachers are sitting with them and helping them handhold. There are children who've gone on from our school to do their sports management and are working for companies like Nike and Adidas as in their sports management teams or as coaches, as referees. Where did they learn this from? Here, and they are leaders. They do wonders on the sports fields and they are perfectly making a living out of them. They may not be 90% holders, no, and that's okay, but they are leaders in their own right. So collaboration and sportsmanship are two beautiful ways to develop leadership qualities. You will see them, you will see such people and peacemakers on the field as well. You'll see the go-getters also. The go-getters sometimes they become dishonest. We have seen that. Where for a point, for a team, for a goal, they will lie. But there are also children who will be truthful. It is not easy, my dears. It is not easy to be able to develop these qualities, especially in the world outside is so different. Because when they come out of school, so many myths of theirs is shattered, right? What their life was as a bubble in a school was so different. It's so different outside. You have to prepare them for such shocks also, yet not lose their ethos. Right? So develop these qualities can be, watch out for children on the sports field as well. Next, please. These are some of my communicators who are very good at, he is Mr. Nayak. He's a very leading author in school and in the state of Goa. Then these are my communicators. These children are very good at framing questions, getting interviews done. They are the, and as how our generation now, Gen X, or Gen Beta now, as they are called. They are called the nerds. Have you heard the nerds? The word youngsters use it. Our little children use it. Our teenagers use it. Oh, they are so nerdy. Their face is already their books all the time. They are not bothered. They don't know how to have fun. But they are the ones who are good with research. They are the ones who are good with language, who are good with their writing skills. So these are my speakers and these are my writers. They are not good in sports, but does that make them any less in leadership? No, not at all. They are also leaders in their own right. And they are the ones who made out a beautiful report on this interview. They framed the questions. They took the appointment from the writer and they interviewed it 1.5 hours. How time flew, so beautifully recorded. They are no less leaders. They are going to be your negotiators probably when they grow up. They probably will become lawyers when they grow up because they have the gift of the gab and the mind to match it. Right? So please understand this is another leadership quality which you need to we talked about empowering. What I'm trying to tell you is it's very difficult to find hundreds of these qualities in one person. There are so many of them. We can't find it in adults. Talk about these 15, 16, 17-year-olds. So nurture them. Even if you catch hold of 2 or 3 qualities in a child, hone it because you never know. We are talking about multi-skilling. We are talking about one long list of 21st century skills. Even if you are able to find 3 or 4, you will have a potential leader. Right? So give them opportunities in different ways. And school is there, no? So from singing to dancing to playing to speaking to communicating to there's so many things happening. And each child is so many different sets of children are excelling. They are teaching you a skill. Each one is teaching you a skill. So hone that, right? Hone that and give them a supportive environment to be able to nurture those skills, and you have potential leaders. Next, please. Now, before we close it, we have a little bit of time left. I'd be very happy to answer a few questions from the audience. Anything at all which you would like to ask. There is what I've written over there is start observing with intention. What I really mean by that, dear mentors, is please make sure that you are watching them. And for that, you have to be, as mentors, in the right frame of mind. You cannot have for us also to be sometimes, fully 100% at times. When we are at times tired, it's very difficult. But look out for these little sparklers. They just make your day, some of these children, with some small action of theirs. You just make your day smile. There's some little action about these children. So while you are looking out for these traits, make sure that you are observing. You never know what intention, what action of a child that you will spot that, that will spark that, okay, here I have this child who's behaved in this manner. Let me try and give this more responsibility to this child. Let's see how the child takes it. So try and make out these moments in a day so that you are able to observe.
Ma'am, our first question is, what is your view on the selection of captains, head girls, and head boys? Do you feel the system is still relevant, or should schools move away from investiture ceremonies altogether?
Scrap it. Just scrap it. That's one word I would say. I feel very, very strongly about it. This entire system should be scrapped. Like I said, HRs work towards talent acquisition and talent management. Even a place like schools, every teacher is not so good at everything, right? We are also humans. We are there for our teaching abilities, definitely. But when we come to extras, just we have multiple intelligence. Children also have multiple intelligence. One side, we are talking about Howard Gardner and multiple intelligence. And on one side, my thinking is very radical. I'm so sorry. But I do not conform to norms at all. This entire process should be scrapped. During COVID also and later, we have the eco warriors, we have the dancers, we have the artists, we have the digital whiz, we have the quizzers, we have the sports. Can we divide children according to such norms instead of a head girl and a head boy and a house captain and continuously competing with each other for house points? Why? Can we have these children who are excelling at art, and here you are also honing talent and recognizing children for their true ability? Can we make multiple leaders out of that instead of just trying to make one super child who is the head boy and one super child who is the head girl? That's not the way for honing talent. So my view is scrap the entire process and please hone children according to their talent. Don't we say make careers out of what you are passionate about? But aren't we killing it in school itself? So I have a very, very strong view on that. You have children who have multiple talents. Just hone them there. And what will happen? When you hone their talent, they excel at it. When they excel at it, you automatically have a confident child, because that child is already being recognized for their innate ability and talent. So divide your school according to talents and make these small groups of children at different level, at the primary level or the foundational level or the middle school level and the secondary level. Have age appropriate and class appropriate clubs so that these children can do. I have children who are not interested in class, in studies, but they run to the ATL lab with the ATL in charge and are continuously tinkering. Aren't they good? Yes, they are good. They're not communicators. They don't like to talk much, but they just come alive in front of the 3D printer, or they love to make a presentation, or they love to do coding. I have an 8th standard child who wants to pester the computer teacher. Ma'am, teach me. Ma'am, teach me. Please teach me this also. He says, you come to 12th standard, you learn. No, ma'am, teach me now. So for me, it's limiting for a child to these set standards that adults have set, and then you try the and fit the child into that mold. So I do not believe in investiture ceremonies. I'm trying hard to actually abolish it in my school also. I am not succeeding because I happen to listen to a lot of my teachers. I am a very democratic leader. So it's very difficult to change that mindset, believe me. But I'm really trying hard. We have an investiture ceremony. I'm being very honest. We have an investiture ceremony and we do have a rigorous process. But I feel that, my God, how I wish I could become one Hitler and change this whole thing. But I am not a Hitler. I go by I go by the popular demand of the teachers. Okay, if you want it this way, then okay. But in my own way, these little other people, the other children are encouraged by our clubs. So, and opportunities, yes, must be given to all. So, for my opinion, big no. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. Ma'am, we have a question from Swati. How to
Okay.
identify faked leadership?
Sorry.
How to identify faked leadership?
Good question. Very good question. So, again, somewhere or the other, if you're talking from a child point of view, they will crack. They will crack somewhere in a difficult situation. Uh, for example, uh, when we give speeches, a child or a senior is very good at speeches, but you put them into another situation and they might show the actual, uh, they might show the true colors. And when we say fake leadership, probably I am just assuming it must be from the point of view that the child or the person may be chosen because they are loud people and they are speaking very well, right? So sometimes we tend to put, so and so is voicing out opinions and is able to give loud speeches. So such as such person is a potential leader. But the moment you try, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to identify on the first front. First front, some people who are, you might hear them, their language and their way they carry themselves, then they become very poised and this thing. But the moment you try and put them into one or two situations, they will not be perfect. Somewhere they will falter. But yes, it takes a little bit of a seasoned eye to be able to see through a fake person. It's not easy. It's not easy, but yes, they will crack somewhere in one or two situations. You have to just keep observing with a lot of intention. I'm not saying watch and observe with a fault finding attitude, no, but just observe behavior traits. Somewhere there will be a crack. It's not easy to fake everybody all the time, no? Yeah, yeah,
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
yeah.
We have another question here. Can we integrate all these leadership qualities like empathy, adaptability, initiative, honesty, integrity, etc., assist in, holistic progress card?
Uh, we do try and do that. It is very difficult. Again, I would say we do have in a HPC, we do have these, all these qualities are there in an HPC. I remember taking an HPC session on this very platform earlier. I remember
Yes, ma'am.
that. Yes, we do have all these, and our endeavor in is to start them young, because these are these qualities which these children will face in the future. So we as mentors and educators, we do try and we inculcate this, and then we try to create one person who is perfect. But that's what schools are for. The schools always try and teach you the right. So these qualities are in a perfect person. They are in the right person, where we say that, okay, these are positive qualities, and a good human being today should have these qualities. So they do form a part of the holistic report card. It's justified also because schools don't stop trying, right? But by the time the child reaches 16, 17, the experiences that they have on a personal level and the school level makes them such a different person, right? But when we start them young at the foundational stage where we have the HPC, we incorporate all these qualities definitely, because the schools desperately want their children to be perfect and teach them all the good in the world, right? We try definitely. We don't give up so easily as mentors, as educators. So we keep trying that we have this best version of a child, but very difficult. But we don't give up. So that's why they form a part of your HPC as well. They are very much a part of the HPC, and they should be. to begin with. That's our work. That's our main work, to mold human beings. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. We have another question from Dimple Chopra. What to do when many children want to be a leader?
Ah, yes. Divide them, ma'am. Please divide them and try and give them, like, for example, when you have 2 monitor badges per class, what do you do? Ma'am, I want to be, I want to be, I want to be, but not possible. So what do you do? The best, safest way out. For 1 week or 2 weeks, you two will be monitor. The next 2 weeks, next two roll numbers. Don't we do that? We do that. And here, then you as a teacher, as a mentor, create opportunities for them to be leaders. Then you are right, absolutely. Children are very eager, they want to do. So divide. Don't show favoritism towards 2 children who seem to be doing the job correctly. We as teachers also want perfection. Sometimes I remember when I was young, I wanted one book list to be made, right? So whom did I look for? The child with the best handwriting, so that I don't have to work. But I could have given to a child who maybe not having a neat handwriting, at least just legible. No, perfect cursive writing and beautiful lines that child draw. Ma'am, your list is ready. Am I ready to ready to experiment with slightly lower imperfection handwriting? I should be able to. But please continue to give opportunities to all your children and different kinds. Today you are carrying the books, or today you come and help me with the board. Today, beta, you switch on the smart board. Today you take the roll call. All right. Today you form the line and you take them to the music room or something like that. So make sure you as a mentor create opportunities to give these responsibilities to children, so that that child gets the confidence. The moment you build confidence in a child, you sow the seeds of good leadership. Confident leaders, confidence will create leaders. Leader who are already leaders, confidence is a very big trait with them. The children who are able to stand tall and make their presence felt. And there are some children who will just disappear into the corner. Sometimes you will not even come to know so and so is in the class also or not. So can we call out to such children also? Right. So make sure you as a mentor, as their teacher, as their subject teacher, as their class teacher, make these opportunities for your children. So make them, let them be. They will fight over it. They will bicker. No, me, I know. But no, let's be fair to everybody. Create. Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, we have one last question.
Yes.
Leadership seems to be a quite complex and overwhelming when seen in totality. So, are our teachers equipped to identify these traits in a scientific manner?
Uh, See, when we say scientific, uh, I am relating it to quantifying it sometimes. How we do it sometimes is, how many competitions have you won? Okay, 5. This child has won only 4. This child has won only 2. Okay, so this child is the best. We quantify their achievements, and then those quantifying these achievements, it's very difficult to say that that such and such child, because of their achievements, is going to be a perfect person. Never. It's very difficult. I must tell you, when we employ teachers also, then also there are certain traits you can't measure. Do you know that these very qualities that we just spoke about, initiative, confidence, collaboration, these are subjective. Can you measure them? Surprisingly, no, you cannot. These are these very qualities which make or break a person, a personality, and their eventual success. It's not only about marks. Don't we say that? That it's not today only marks that matter. We have to move a little away from the academic rigor. In the same way, I would say it is very difficult to measure. We are very, very difficult to measure it in a very scientific manner, that you can say black and white, that competitions won, excellent leader. 90% marks, excellent leader. Sometimes they may not be, because these very qualities are not measurable. You cannot quantify them. Right? So it is in totality sometimes when you see the person, when you weigh the person as a personality, or you weigh a child as a personality, as an all-round person, is then when you realize what a leader is like. So very difficult to measure, very, very difficult to measure. Because when I say scientifically, I am relating it to being able to quantify it and, sort of measure it. so that you say, okay, so and so is a leader and so is not. It's not black and white, I would say.